everybody, this is Betsy Veldman for Papertrey Inc. and I am here today to show you some new dies that are coming your way for our June 2016 release. The dies I'm showing in today's video are called Double Ups Rectangles, and I think they're going to be a really fun basic to add to your collection. Okay, so here I have my set of Double Ups Rectangles. You'll see there's 3 dies in the set, and each of the dies has a cutting line and then also a stitched detail on either side of the cutting line, which allows you to cut windows or mats depending on which part of the die cut you use. And the thing that really makes these kind of fun is the scalloped backer that's built into the die. And what that is going to do is that you can combine, after you've die cut your shape, your rectangle, you can then run it through your machine again and incorporate the embossing mats that are also sold in the Papertrey store. And then what you get is an embossed design around your cutout. Whether you're using the negative to create a frame or a window, or the actual rectangle itself. So let's just go ahead and take a look at how these work. I have my Big Shot machine all set up, and I'm going to be using the medium rectangle from the Double Up set. And all I have here is a piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to start off with my normal cutting sandwich. Just whatever you normally use to cut, that's what you want to do for your first pass through your machine. Now when you lay your die on your cardstock, if you're going to be using the frame portion, you want to make sure that everything's nice and straight and even. If you're just using the rectangle cutout portion, you don't need to worry so much about that. But if you need something to help you hold it in place, I like to use just a post-it note, a sticky note to hold things in place. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and run this through the machine to first cut. Okay, so that should be cut. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just leave the die cut nested right inside of there. I'm not going to take the die off. I'm going to leave everything as it is, and I'm going to go ahead and switch to an embossing sandwich. And for my machine, I like to take my multi-purpose platform and just flip out one of the tabs. I find that that's a good sandwich for me for my embossing. It's tight enough to leave a good impression, but not so tight that it's kind of pulling things. If you have too tight of a sandwich, you might find that it starts to pull and stretch your embossing mats. Then you probably need to back off on your sandwich a little bit. So you'll just have to mess around and see what works best for your machine. So I'm going to go ahead and run it through again with my embossing sandwich. And I should have mentioned too that I have both the cream and the tan mats, embossing mats, in my sandwich. So then I can go ahead and pull this out, and then what I have is I have the die cut rectangle, and I also have the frame. And hopefully you can see here on the video, you can see how going through the second time with that embossing mat just gave it kind of a pretty scalloped embossed edge. That's really all there is to it. It's really kind of fun and simple, and it's a great basic that you can use with just about anything else in your collection. So before I go, I want to show you one more fun technique that you can do with these dies to add some color to that embossed edge. What I have here is just a basic Papertrey ink pad. I'm going to use Hibiscus Burst. And then I also have a brayer, which this is optional, but I do find you can do the inking just straight from your ink pad to the die, but I find I get a smoother ink coverage when I use a brayer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply ink to the back side of the die, the smooth side, not the cutting side. I'm going to apply it to the smooth side. I'm just going to go over the whole thing so that I have pretty nice even coverage. And what I have here is my die cut rectangle that I just cut, that I just showed in the video. I have it laying on top of my embossing mat. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that embossed scallop impression that's already there as a guide, and I'm going to lay my inked up die, the inked side down, the smooth side down, right on top of that impression, lining up those scallops. And do it kind of carefully so that you get it in the right spot the first time so you don't have to shift things around and smudge that ink. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just run it through my machine again. And I'm using that embossing sandwich that I used to run it through the second time that I just showed you a little bit ago in the video. And then I'm just going to run it through my machine and pull it up kind of carefully here so any stray ink doesn't get onto the nice white part of my die cut. And you'll see how then I have a nice pretty colored border around those embossed scallops. Well, that wraps up this peek into the double ups dies. There are some similar dies with the same kind of feature built into them, this embossing feature built into them, and they're also included in the noted A1, A2, and square note card dies as well. So it's just kind of a fun basic for you to add to your collection and really incorporate into just about any project. Thanks for joining me. This has been Betsy Veldman for Papertrey Inc.